Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are going to start chapter number 4, Structure of the Atom. In chapter number 3, we have learned the atoms and molecules. We have studied about the atoms and the molecules. We have studied that the atoms are the building block of a substance. Atoms together make up molecules. Atoms combines to form molecules. Atoms of same type combine to form molecules of an element, and atoms of different types combine to form molecules of compound. And we have also studied that there are different types of elements. More or less 118 or 19 elements are known to us as present, and therefore there are 118 or 119 different types of atoms. Now the question is, what makes an atom? What makes the atom of one element different from the atom of another element? Are atoms really indivisible, as John Dalton had told, or there are some smaller particles that make up these atoms? So we are going to study about all of these things, answer to all these questions in this chapter. Earlier, our scientists had told us that matter is made up of atoms. Atom is the smallest particle of an element, and it cannot be further divided. But later on, when our scientists performed experiments and activities, on the basis of experiments and activities, they found out that no, these atoms are not the smallest particle of an element. Even smaller to atom, there are particles, and those particles together make up atom. So before going to that, we are told to perform an activity here, that we are told to comb dry hair. That means we will take a comb and we will rub it over our dry hair, or we will comb our hair. And then we will bring small pieces of paper close to that rubbed comb. What we will observe, that those small pieces of paper gets attracted towards the comb. Then we are told to rub a glass rod with silk cloth and bring the rod near an inflated balloon. The glass rod attracts the balloon. It has been asked, observe what happens. So we will observe that the glass rod attracts the balloon. In class 8, we have studied that when two bodies are rubbed against one another, then they become charged, and the both bodies are oppositely charged. In class 8, you remember, class 8 we have studied this one, that when two bodies are rubbed against one another, for example, here we had taken a glass rod and we had taken a silk cloth. We had taken our dry hair and comb. When we rubbed two things, what happened? They got charged. And in class 8, we had also studied that a charged body attracts a positively charged body, or a charged body attracts a neutral body. That means a no charged body. So when we had taken the comb one case, in the comb one, what we are seeing, that we are rubbing the comb over dry hair. So the comb and the dry hair gets charged. The comb got charged and we brought it near to the small pieces of paper. These small pieces of paper are uncharged. So these uncharged paper got attracted towards the comb. In the same way, when we are taking a glass rod and rubbing it our silk, then this glass rod and silk gets charged. Glass rod gets positively charged and this one gets negatively charged. And we bring near it an inflated balloon. The balloon is neutral, no charge, so glass rod attracts that balloon. Now the question arises, now here it has been told to us that question arises, where does this charge come from? We understood now by performing the activities that the body gets charged. Both the bodies get charged, the two bodies which we are rubbing. But from where does this charge come from? How is that the glass rod got charged? How is that the comb got charged or the silk cloth got charged? How is it that? So the question can be answered by knowing that an atom is divisible and consists of charged particles. So this one, the answer to this question was made clear later on by our scientists by telling that these atoms are not the smallest particle of an element. Even smaller to these atom, or atom is not the smallest particle, even smaller to atom is subatomic particles. And then we will study here in this part, in this chapter, that three main subatomic particles have been found out by our scientists. They are electron, proton and neutron. So first we will study about the proton. The proton, they are the positively charged particles, and electrons are the negatively charged particles, and neutrons are the no charge or neutral particles. When we talk about the electron, proton and neutron, then we will talk here that first proton was discovered by E. Goldstein. His full name was Eugen Goldstein in 1886. How did he do the discovery of this proton? This was done by Goldstein in the following manner. Goldstein passed electricity at high voltage through a gas at a very low pressure taken in a discharge tube, and streams of heavy particles were given out by that positive electrode or the anode, and these streams of particles are called the anode rays. The mass and the charge of the anode ray particle depended on the nature of the gas taken in the discharge tube. Different gases gave different types of anode rays which contained positively charged particles having different masses of different charges. And when hydrogen was taken, the hydrogen gas was the lightest gas and still it is the lightest gas, and hydrogen atom is the lightest atom. So the positive particles obtained from the hydrogen gas are the lightest and have the smallest charge. Then the anode rays that was obtained from the hydrogen gas were made up of same type of positive particles, and these positive particles were called the protons. So these rays were positively charged radiations, and this led to the discovery of protons. This particle had a charge equal in magnitude but opposite in sign to that of the electron. But that time electron was not discovered. Electron was discovered later on. Its mass was approximately 2000 times as that of the electron. It was given that the name of proton, And how do we define proton? A proton is formed by the, or how we can say, how is proton formed? The proton is formed by the removal of an electron from a hydrogen atom. Proton is symbol is P plus, and electron is represented, or its symbol is E minus. And the mass of the proton is taken as a 1 unit, and its charge is taken as +1. So how did Goldstein explain the formation of proton when he had done the activity that has not been given in your book here? Let me explain it to you, that when he had passed electricity at a high voltage through a gas at very low pressure, and when he had taken hydrogen gas, he told that hydrogen gas consists of hydrogen atoms. So when high electrical voltage was applied to the hydrogen gas, the electrical energy removed the electrons from the hydrogen atoms. And when the removal, after the removal of the negatively charged electron from a hydrogen, a positively charged particle called proton was formed. And these fast moving protons formed the anode. Now we come to about electron. The electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson in 1897. His name is given in this page, J.J. Thomson. Full name is Joseph John Thomson. He discovered electron. How he had done? He passed electricity at a high voltage through a gas at a very low pressure taken in a discharge tube. And streams of minute particles were given out by the cathode, that means the negative electrode. And these streams of particles were called, and is still called, cathode rays, because they come out from the cathode. The mass of and the charge of the cathode rays particles does not depend on the nature of the gas taken in a discharge tube, as we saw in the case of proton. In proton case, what we had seen, that the mass and the charge of the anode rays particles depend on the nature of the gas taken. Here it does not depend. So cathode rays consist of small negatively charged particles, and these particles are called the electrons. These negatively charged particles are called electrons. So these electrons, they are denoted by E minus. The mass of an electron is considered to be negligible, and its charge is -1. So how did Thomson explain the formation of cathode rays? He explained in the following way. The gas taken in the discharge tube consisted of atoms, and all the atoms contained electrons. So when a high electric voltage was applied by J.J. Thomson, the electrical energy pushed out some of the electrons from the atoms of the gas, and then the fast moving electrons formed the cathode. And thus the negatively charged particles, he called them as the electrons. So we can say that an atom consists of proton and electrons mutually balancing their charges. It also appeared that the protons were in the interior of the atom, whereas electrons could easily be removed off, but not the protons. Now the question arises, what sort of structure did these particles of atom form? So about the answer to this question, we are going to study in the next part of this chapter, in the later pages. But before going to that part, we will see here about the discovery of the neutrons. So the credit for the discovery of neutron, a third type of particle which is having no charge, goes to James Chadwick, and he did this in 1932. When the discovery of proton and electron was done, it was noticed that all the mass of an atom cannot be accounted for on the basis of only protons and electrons present in it. Again I am repeating. When the discovery of proton and electron was done, it was noticed that all the mass of an atom cannot be accounted for on the basis of only protons and electrons present in it. For example, we can take a carbon atom consists of 6 protons and 6 electrons, and the mass of electron is so small that it is negligible, it is ignored. So the atomic mass of carbon should be 6u only, as we studied about the atomic masses in chapter number 3. That means the mass of 6 protons, but here the total mass of carbon is 12u. Atomic mass of carbon is 12u. So from where this 6u is coming? So this came to the mind of the scientist that there must be some more particles in it. And then in 1932, James Chadwick found out that a third type of particle is also found in an atom that have got no charge, and that is, he named it as neutron. So the neutron is a neutral particle found in the nucleus of an atom. Atoms of all elements contain neutron except ordinary hydrogen, which does not contain any neutron. The subatomic particle not present in the hydrogen is neutron. So a hydrogen atom consists only of one proton and one electron, and the symbol for neutron is N, small n. So you may be asked question from this part to write difference between electron, proton and neutron. Differentiate between electron, proton and neutron. So what you can say? You can say about the relative mass and the relative charge and where they are found. You can say proton relative mass is 1u, of electron 1 by 1840 time. Exactly it has been found out. Here it is given approximately 2000 times, no, but we later on we will study that it has been found out to be 1840. And then the relative mass of neutron is 1u. Now let us come to the charge, the second difference. Proton electric charge, relative charge is +1. Electron -1. Neutron no charge, so we will write 0. Third difference. Proton is found in the nucleus. Electron is found outside the nucleus, and a neutron is found in the nucleus. About neutron, it has been given to us in this page here. I told you a little earlier, so that we will study about all the three particles, electron, proton and neutron together. Here it has given to us about neutrons. These all I have already told you. Let me tell you further that neutrons are present in the nucleus of all atoms except hydrogen. In general, a neutron is represented as small n. The mass of an atom is therefore given by the sum of the masses of the protons and neutrons present in the nucleus. We have studied about the mass in the last chapter. So the mass of an atom is given by the sum of the masses of the protons and the neutrons present in the nucleus.